Hi, welcome to Kids Are Chefs, where we prepare a great meal and a great topic. I'm Chef Zach, and today with us we have Chef Graham and Chef Rebecca. She's our special guest here from the Humane Society of the United States, and today she's going to be talking about compassionate eating.
Thank you, Zach, for that great introduction. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, we are going to be talking about compassionate eating today, and we're going to be cooking some great, tasty, flavorful, delicious, nutritious burritos. We're going to be having some black beans and a little bit of sauteed spinach, some beefless crumbles. I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. A little bit of salsa and some brown rice. And these chefs are going to cut up our tomatoes for us, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that. They're going to slice and dice these tomatoes for us to put in our burritos.
Absolutely. All right.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Intention, not perfection. That's my motto.
I like that.
Yeah, thanks. You can use it. So, and then after you cut them into slices like that, you can just kind of lay them flat and then just dice them up.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to be perfect. Again, they're just
tomatoes.
They're just tomatoes.
All right, perfect. So,
and
can we
you
lay
can,
them flat like that?
Yeah, so I would just take a couple at a time, if you don't mind.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so just take a couple of these, and then you can just do kind of half this way and half that way.
Like that?
That's perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, and then turn it around and cut it the other way, and that's it. So after we finish slicing and dicing the tomatoes, we're going to start with cooking the brown rice. This actually normally takes about 40 minutes to cook brown rice, which is filled with fiber. And I love to use brown rice often instead of white rice.
Oh, absolutely.
Now to cook the brown rice, we use 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. So if you guys want to go ahead and do, that's a 1 cup measurement, so we'll fill that up a couple of times, add it to the pot. And then, Graham, if you want to measure the 1 cup of rice after Zach has put in the 2 cups of water, that would be perfect.
One. All right.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right.
And there's 2 cups of water.
Okay, and then we'll put the rice in, get that going, and then we'll come over here and we're going to saute the spinach with a little bit of olive oil to saute that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And then while you're doing that, Graham, if you want to come over and put some olive oil in this pan for the beefless crumbles, that would be perfect. And get that heated up, maybe on 2 or 3. So these are the beefless crumbles. I'm going to use that one.
Are you good?
Yeah. And these are made out of pea protein. These are made out of pea protein, and this is used as an alternative to, say, your meat, your beef, or your chicken. And if you want to go ahead and you can just kind of spoon it in there, okay, and heat it up for just a few minutes. Again, we're talking about compassionate eating today. And when we think about compassionate eating, we think about how do we make a choice with all the meals that we make on a daily basis to live a more compassionate life. And we're going to be sitting down when we eat to talk about this further. But one of the ways to do that is to leave animals off of our plates. And with the Humane Society of the United States, we work on a compassionate, humane world for all animals and people alike. And that also includes the animals that we use for food. So farm animals are those animals that we use for food. And rather than the resources that it takes to process and feed and house cows, and rather than using the environmental resources that we use for those things, all the water consumption and the land use and everything involved with that, we can choose to use a different product and leave that off of our plate. And so we're choosing a more compassionate way of eating that's better for the environment, that's obviously better for the animals, but you know what, it's also better for our health, because decrease in meat consumption, even if it's just about 20%, which is only about 1 day per week.
Wow.
Have you heard of a program called Meatless Monday?
I actually have, yes.
A lot of the schools are doing that, and colleges and universities. It's just about taking a holiday from meat 1 day per week, and that's because Leading healthcare institutions have determined that even just that little bit cuts down on your risk for chronic diseases.
Wow.
Like diabetes and heart disease and stroke and certain types of cancer.
That's awesome.
I'm interested in hearing from both of you, what does it mean to you when I say the word compassion? How do you define that?
Like when you're compassionate with somebody, I feel like you're sympathizing with them, and you kind of, you're compassionate. You show feeling, and you show that you care, I guess, towards something.
What about you, Graham?
I would say that like compassion for food is more of like you're caring for what you eat.
Aha.
That's
I like the way you worded that.
good answer.
And you want it to be good for you, and you want it to be good for what you're eating.
Perfect. I love to hear that. Yes. You care about how it affects you and care about how it affects whatever it is that you're putting on your plate. Excellent. What's one of the ways that you've shown compassion, either to yourself or to someone else or even to an animal?
I mean, I personally, every Thursday night, I go down and I help with the homeless here in downtown Atlanta. And that's
Great.
compassion towards them. You know, they have less than me. I can go and I can show them, you know, yeah, I may have a house or whatever, but we're still the same. Like, we're still humans. We still are able to love each other. We still put our pants on one leg at a time, you know, and that's kind of compassion, I guess, towards them.
Yeah. Empathy comes to mind when I think about compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Really being able to think about what the other person might be feeling
Putting
or
yourself in their
experiencing.
shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
What are some of the ways that you have shown compassion, Graham?
Well, I hate when I'm like at school and I see people bullying other people, and it makes me feel really, really sad because I've been in their shoes, and I try my best. Like when they're sitting alone at lunch, I try my best to help them and let them sit with me instead of rejecting them like other people do. And I don't like bullying, and I like to show compassion to people who are being bullied, and I try to help them out as much as I can.
I love your examples of compassion. Everything looks great. We can go ahead and turn the fire off here.
Sure.
And then we'll go over here and get the beans.
Okay. Perfect.
All right,
There you
and
go.
we'll go ahead and put these in the microwave. I'll get out the rice that we had cooked earlier. These in. May I hand this to one of you? Thanks.
Absolutely. Deal.
Okay, and I'm just gonna heat these up for a minute or two. And while those are heating up, we can go ahead and get our plates, which are right over here, and our bowl. Now, let me mention that you don't have to eat this on a tortilla. A lot of people want to watch their gluten intake, like Graham here. And so he's going to have his in a bowl, a burrito bowl. And so Zach and I are going to have ours wrapped in a tortilla. Graham will have his in a bowl.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, we've got just a little bit of mild salsa.
Ooh.
And again, the brown rice is filled with fiber. I love that. Now, when you make the choice to eat more plants, we call it plant strong eating, and you leave the animal proteins and nutrients off your plate. Again, it's good for your health, it's good for the environment, and obviously it's good for the animals. Did you guys know that it takes, well, let me ask you, how much water in gallons? And you can just take a guess. How much water in gallons do you think it takes to produce 1 pound of chicken? 1 pound of chicken. Take a
pound
guess.
of chicken. How much water?
Yes.
Um,
In gallons.
2 or 3, maybe.
Any guesses, Graham?
I'm thinking like 4, around 4.
Okay. It takes about 500 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of chicken.
Wow.
Let me put that into perspective for you. That is enough water to take a shower every day for about 5 months.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So that's a significant amount of resources and that's just the water intake that we use to house and feed and grow and slaughter the animals that we consume for food. And so why not say, okay, well, rather than contributing to that environmental depletion, why not go ahead and just add some beans to the plate? Everything looks really great. We're gonna go ahead and stop now and take our plates to go sit down and eat and continue our conversation about compassion.
Hey guys, it's Chef Gabby here, and this is the Kids Are Chef cookware set. What I love about it's my favorite color, blue, and it won't peel or chip, so I don't have to worry about them. You can put this in the dishwasher and nothing will happen, and you can make sure your mom doesn't steal it. And it has a heat-resistant handle, so you don't have to worry about getting burnt or anything. Well, thank you guys for watching. Bye.
All right, let's go ahead and get our napkins in our laps and start eating this delicious plant-based food that we have made for ourselves today. I'm just gonna roll up my tortilla. Again, Graham is having his in a bowl today so that he doesn't have gluten. So guys, while we're eating this, I'd love to talk more about compassionate eating, and I'm curious to know what kinds of ideas you have of things that you're already eating where you're leaving animals off your plate.
I don't know, that's kind of hard. Because I know I eat chicken a lot, and I eat beef a lot, and steak, and you know, and you can get an entree, you can get something like a full meal, like a salad, without having chicken on it. Like you can do something like that without putting like chicken, on a salad.
What do you think?
Well, I usually like to eat nuts because that's a good source of protein.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, and omegas.
I love salads.
Yeah.
Chicken tastes good on a salad, but it's really not that healthy for you. Especially the grilled chicken. I love the grilled chicken, but it's also not that healthy for you. So basically, you just put some nuts on there to add some more protein.
Yeah.
And you can use chickenless chicken strips because they have those available now in all the grocery stores and Walmart and Target. And there are things that you're already eating that are what we call incidental plant-based options, like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or pastas or different things, different rice bowls. And so there are a lot of things that you might already be eating that are already plant-based and you didn't even think about it. They just are different cereals that you're eating.
Yeah, I never thought of those.
Yeah, and someone mentioned earlier ice cream, and there are so many plant-based ice creams now that are made with almond milk or cashew milk or coconut milks, and you can find those at all the grocery stores now too.
Yeah, and they're healthier for you too.
Yeah, and you know, I mentioned chicken earlier. I mentioned that it takes an exorbitant amount of water to produce just a pound of chicken. You could shower for a few months with the amount of water it takes.
That's crazy.
To produce that amount of chicken. The other thing I want to tell you about chicken is, I don't know if you know this, but most chickens live in what we call battery cages. And a battery cage is, each chicken gets to live their entire lives, which is several years, and these are egg-laying hens, on space that's about the size of a sheet of paper, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And each hen only gets, they can't spread their wing, they can't root or nest, they can't do any of the natural behaviors that chickens are supposed to do. And I don't know if you know about pigs, I don't know how much pork you eat, but when pigs are pregnant, they're kept in what we call gestation crates. And gestation crates are so small that the pig, for her entire life basically, is not able to even turn around.
Wow.
She's not able to even turn around. And that's how she lives her entire life. She can't move really any which way except maybe turn her head just a little bit. And these are all, and cows, in order to get milk, are you familiar with how they live?
Not really.
In order to produce milk, a cow has to be pregnant. And so what the people do in what we call factory farms is keep cows impregnated over and over and over again. And their babies are removed from them so that they'll keep producing the milk and not give it to their babies. And they're basically just impregnated over and over and over again artificially throughout their entire lives until they're taken to slaughter. And so these are ways that animals live on factory farms or industrialized farming systems. And so when we choose to make different choices, which we can do several times every day by the meals, just even by the meals we eat, we can make the choice to be more compassionate about these animals, again, while helping our own health by eating more plant-based options like beans and different cruciferous green vegetables, and nuts and seeds like Graham you mentioned. There are lots of legumes. There are red beans and garbanzo beans.
Oh yeah. So what are some other ways that we can, besides, I mean, we made these amazing burritos today, but that we can make our meals more plant-based instead of having chicken or beef or pork in them?
I'm so glad you asked that. One of the things that I love to make is a pizza with either dairy-free cheese, and you can get the Chow, C-H-A-O cheese, or the Follow Your Heart cheese, or any of these non-dairy cheeses. We actually didn't use one today, but you certainly are welcome to put them on your burrito or on your pizza. You can also use hummus on your pizza and make a hummus type flatbread. Or you could do a pesto pizza, which is fabulous.
Oh, I love pesto pizza.
And those can be made without cheese very easily. We make that a lot. There are lots of different bowls that you can make, like you get at Moe's or Chipotle and those types of places, where you can use tofu or beefless crumbles, or you can use the chickenless chicken strips that you can buy at any store now, Target or Walmart or Publix or Kroger or any of those places. One of the things I love to do is just make a wrap out of whatever I can find in my refrigerator, and that could be hummus and avocado and some lettuce, tomato, and onion, or you know, any of those things that you can just kind of keep on hand. Hummus made with chickpeas is a great way to get your protein and really get filled. It's great for lunch. It's great on a pita or just in a salad or with crackers or anything like that. So there are lots of alternatives that we can use to make that choice.
So as a person who loves meat, and I usually eat a lot of meat, but I really want to stop that because I know it's starting to get unhealthy for me. And what kind of tips would you give me?
Great question, Graham. One of the things that we at Humane Society of the United States likes to do is promote programs like Meatless Monday or Lean and Green Day, or you might want to call it Healthy Wednesday, or not call it anything at all. But the concept is just taking a holiday from meat one day a week. I mentioned earlier that just that one day a week, which is equivalent to about 20% of our week, leads to a significant reduce of the risk of different chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and stroke and certain forms of cancer, high blood pressure, all of those different forms of chronic diseases that people deal with. Just even trying to do that one day a week and instead substituting with some plant-based options makes that really significant difference for your health.
Yeah.
It also cuts down significantly on the amount of animals that are suffering in factory farms, even just by reducing your consumption to one day a week. And again, here we're talking about compassion. So just doing that one day a week is showing a tremendous amount of compassion for the animals, for your health, again, for the environment. The Sierra Club, which is a leading environmental organization, says that if we all reduced our meat intake by just one day a week, it would be like everyone switching from driving a sedan to driving a hybrid.
Wow.
If everyone in America did that, that's how much greenhouse gas emissions we would reduce if we could just cut out one day a week of eating meat. So it really serves the environment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is a really good tip. I like it.
Yeah,
Thank
so you
you.
can start there for sure. And there are lots of recipes available. If you go to hsus.org for Humane Society United States.org/Meatless Monday, you'll find tons and tons of recipes available on that website. You can even sign up to receive an email every week with a recipe emailed to you of plant-based options from that website.
Really cool.
So that's a good
Really
place to
cool.
start.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on here with us. We really enjoyed it. Thank you for showing us about our burritos. I really enjoy it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for being here with me today and talking about compassion and eating and trying to eat more plant-based meals for our health and for the environment and for the well-being of the animals.
Absolutely.